Angela.
Good morning.
Meeting on Tuesday. That time's fine with me, if it's fine with you.
What time?
1.
Okay, I'll have.
Yeah.
I knew I couldn't do earlier, so.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll double check, but it should be fine.
All right. Good morning, everyone. It is Bar Talk, May 22nd, the Friday before Memorial Day. And we do have an update of a release that just went out. Well, okay, actually, our first item of business is that there will be a connection on the judicial branch website to listen to recordings of the stakeholder meetings on May 14th and May 21st. I believe we heard, I think, Angela, that the May 21st one will be posted sometime next week.
Right. The May 14th one is available now, but the other one is not ready yet.
Okay, great. And I'm just going to pop out of sequence a little bit here regarding the on the business side updates. We did get there was some sort of release yesterday regarding a desire for comments on the new proposed Maine rules of electronic filing. And good, I appreciate you breaking this down, Angela. That what's the majority of what's there for review is Rule 1 and Rule 2. Rule 2 is a definitions rule. And for those of you that attended the January winter meeting, you'll know how important those definitions are. Essentially, it's going to be what guides our application of information that is processed electronically, and it's quite comprehensive, and I encourage you to, if you have a chance, review Rule 2 especially. And then I think the rest of the rules that are there for your review are essentially how the electronic filing will physically occur, and there's just a few rules at the end of the entire set of rules that they're going to do that they want you to look at for that. And that is due back, I believe, June 4th. You've got it on there too. Okay. That being said, we do have a special guest, and that is Aria E. We were expecting Justin Andrus, or at least we were advertising he was coming on board. My understanding, though, is that he had an urgent matter to attend to, and Aria has blessed us with her presence. And Aria, I see you're there. Are there any like new trends that you're seeing at the Board of Overseers?
You know, one of the things that made me think about this issue, it's coming up more and more, is online reviews. Lawyers wanting to know how to respond. Now, I haven't heard it recently, but I've been thinking about how lawyers are obviously still trying to work digitally, and they're trying to build their businesses, some of them, especially the ones who've gotten furloughed or left for other reasons. We have lawyers saying, hey, I'm taking stock of my life now in the pandemic, and I've decided to leave private practice and go into a solo practice, or leave my firm, go into a solo practice. And what lawyers for the last few years in particular, Thad, have struggled with is how to respond to online reviews. So there's a couple of things that I want y'all to be clear with. And Angela, if you want to pop that 1.6 rule up, please, that would be great. Well, okay, so Yelp is a good one. So obviously Yelp often deals with restaurants, but don't forget there's Yelp, there's Angie's List, there's other online reviewers that you may find yourself on there and having to decide whether you're going to respond. And Angela, if you don't mind popping 1.6 back up for me, thank you so much for pulling that together. So all y'all know that as a matter of rule, we are supposed to keep our clients' confidences, right? But there's exceptions under this confidentiality rule of all of these reasons. And as you can see, let me put my glasses on. One is to establish a claim or defense on behalf of the lawyer. So a lot of times if you're defending yourself in a bar complaint, most of which get dismissed still, so yay, because I know you're out there working hard, you can reveal some confidential information. Post-conviction review in responding to a subpoena, and after court orders you to testify about some advice you gave to a client, that still is possible. But in an online review, you want to be very careful to be mindful of rules 1.6, which we have up, and that I did not get a chance to get 1.9 because Justin and I were actually involved at a witness interview, so that's why he's still doing that, and I didn't give Angela enough time or Thad, so let me thank y'all for accommodating us. But the rule 1.9 of the professional conduct rules is just that former client rule. And so take a look at that too. But as a general matter, I want you to be very careful about responding in a negative way to an online review. Take the high road. I know it's hard. Lord, do I know it's hard. But if a client is bad-mouthing you online, you should say something to the effect of, certainly if you didn't represent the person, you can deny, I never represented this person. I do practice in the criminal law spectrum, and I have a lot of satisfied clients. Feel free to visit my website. If you did represent the person, you can simply say, I've offered to, I can help you through that language. I don't want to take up Bar Talk now time, but the message is to take the high road and be sure you're compliant with rules 1.6 and 1.9. For instance, just because a client's OUI was the subject matter during her divorce hearing, which was a public hearing, does not mean that you can talk about that in response to a negative review that she posts. Does that make sense? About a week ago, or actually, not too long ago, because I remember the date, the New Jersey Supreme Court suspended a lawyer for, among other things, revealing client confidences in responding to an online review. There's an ABA opinion that deals with that too, and that's ABA formal opinion number 479. So those are your three guideposts. ABA opinion 479, the ethics rules, the professional conduct rules of 1.6 and 1.9. And while you're trying to decide what to do, feel free to call us on the ethics helpline, but I don't want you to get down in the muck with the client. You always want to come out looking like the good guy or good gal. Thank you.
Aria, thank you very much. Do you know what I guess the ability is to address, let's say you do have someone that complains about you and they aren't even your client, let's say, or they complain about something that's just, egregious, that really has nothing to do with the practice of law. Are you aware of any mechanism to get those off? Like if someone goes on Yelp and says something like that, do you know, has anyone had success?
I know that you can, thank you, Angela, for that. I know that allegedly Google will provide service to remove those things. I do not know how that works, and I don't know if it's actually true, if it's a legit service. I got a call from them about the Board of Overseers getting negative reviews. I imagine that's true. I know we do, from both people who complain against lawyers and, on occasion, a lawyer that becomes unhappy with us. There are online services that you can pay. I think the last quote that somebody gave us to remove something from Google, actually, a Google review, if you believe the Google representative that called me, was $250. Now, I don't know the process for that, and I would invite anybody. I mean, that feels like extortion to me, especially if you didn't do anything wrong, and nobody's got the extra money, I think, to throw around for that.
Well, and
especially small firms.
Well, yeah, but I was chuckling if that was really a Google representative saying, "Well, take down this negative review that someone posted on our Google website." That's interesting that that
Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure it was legit.
okay.
But okay, so there are people out there that are chatting about this, and I would defer to them if they want to weigh in on it, because of my tech. Let me just see if this is a private. Yes. Okay. So, there are lawyers out there who would be willing to share their experiences in a bar seminar. And so perhaps we could look at doing that for one of the future meetings or legal year in review. I think it's an important topic. I think it's unfair to lawyers to have to sit there and look at stuff, particularly if it's not true, if it's not coming from a client. So I'm going to take the extra time you're giving me, Thad. I absolutely think that it's okay for you to say, hey, I'm Thaddeus Day here. I never represented this person, and I deny all the allegations. That's perfectly true. What I don't want you to do is say, yes, I'm this lawyer and I gave this person a great defense, and too bad, X, Y, and Z. And that's what the New Jersey lawyer did, is started throwing the client under the bus during the online review. Most people know not to do that, but sometimes lawyers want to go a little further, and thankfully they call us or they call somebody else that they trust to say, hey, here's what I'm thinking of saying, and we back them off the ledge and remind them that nothing good's going to come of that. And, we try to come up with a script that will work, that makes them sound appropriate, but also able to deny and reestablish the record.
Thank you very much. And we did have another comment. Let's see. Yeah, there's market-based considerations that Mr. Lewis wrote on our chat. So, yeah, I mean, it's a whole interesting world out in the little digital areas. People say things that they wouldn't say to someone's face, even a reporter's face. If they can just post it online, it's easier. Thank you very much, Aria. We're just going to transition in the next sections of our agenda, and if you could stay online in case there are other questions, that would be great. Angela?
Happy Friday. As you'll see, just a reminder, we will not be having Bar Talk on Monday. I hope everybody has a nice Memorial Day weekend. Sounds like the weather might be cooperating with us. You'll see the upcoming guests. We've added another one right at the end there. Chief Justice Mead will be joining us on the 1st of June. And that's obviously another whole week away. So we'll provide more information as we get closer to that.
And thank you, Angela. I know I kind of spoke about the chance to make comments on the electronic court systems rules. And was there anything more you had to add there?
No, okay. You've already talked about that, so I just skipped over it.
Didn't mean to take away your thunder there.
Oh, that's fine.
So on the personal side, I wanted to recognize, of course, the veterans that were thankful for giving the ultimate sacrifice. Memorial Day is coming up after Saturday and Sunday this weekend. And I know that our American Legion generally, I belong to the one in Falmouth, Post 164, generally participates in a parade, does a ceremony at 3 different locations, all during the parade. They filmed, so they're going to be posting the filming on YouTube, and they are going to have antique cars do the parade live on, I believe the parade starts at 9:30, and they're going to drive antique cars through the parade route, and people are going to be either in cars or separated somehow, so that it's more of a watch from a distance interaction. But on top of that, we're looking at how Bar Talk is going to change going into the future, and any of our listeners that have some recommendations on how we can make Bar Talk better or improve it, or change some things that we need to on the agenda going forward, and/or the amount of time we give Bar Talk, just let us know. We will be discussing this next week. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Have a nice weekend.
And for
Yes.
those veterans, thank you. Thad,
Thanks.
Angela, whoever else I'm forgetting.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Aria.
Aria. Have a great weekend.